Yes.
Okay, I think it's working.
Okay. So, hello everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening and salam sajatra. So, welcome back again to our GDGoC UTM for today's amazing session, which is the Professional Edge Presentation and Networking Workshop, dedicated to help you move from simply presenting to truly influencing your career path. To guide us through this, we have a leader whose philosophy is built on structure before speed and system over heroics. Our speaker is the Chief Growth Officer at Kabel, and where he is scaling a tech-enabled youth employment engine. But his impact doesn't stop there. He is also actively building natural options into regional well-being brand platform, compressing functional beverage and nutraceuticals, sorry, including the Surya Snyder family. He is a mentor known for simplifying complex and design growth mechanisms that compound success. So we have TK today here. So welcome, and without further ado, I would like to pass the floor to him.
All right, thank you, Samuel. Good to see you again after such a long time. It's been a few months, right? So good to see you. Let me just bring my presentation up. All right, can you see the presentation? So I'll ask everybody, to just if you have a question, just type it into the chat box, and I'll try to answer them along the way. But Samuel invited me here just to help you guys out in terms of mastering presentations. I think this is an important skill, right? When doing presentations, that you know how to do it properly, right? And you want to make sure that the people who you're communicating with understand what you're doing and understand your key points, and get the message across. Presenting online and presenting live is two totally different things, I believe. And this is a skill set that you need to master. I guess most of you are in university studying, and I'm assuming that you guys are digital agents, right? So you guys know how to do a lot of stuff on the computer, how to use a lot of apps, how to present online perhaps. But maybe some of you are having issues presenting live, face-to-face live. Okay, so today presentation skills, is required in almost every field, and most of us are required to give presentations on occasions. I think you guys are practicing that at university level. Sometimes, people take this very easily, and sometimes a lot of us feel that it's very challenging. Presentation skills or public speaking, don't have several benefits. I think there are four major ones. Basically, is increasing employability. So I think over about 70% of jobs require some sort of public speaking. It makes it a valuable skill set for your career advancement. Also, it helps you in the interviews, how you story tell, how you capture attention. Right. The second one, I think, is leadership abilities. Strong public speaking skills are essential for leaders. You need to enable them to inspire, influence, and also engage in the audience effectively. The third one, I think, is increase your persuasiveness, right? The ability to convey your ideas, sway opinions, inspire action, whether it's personal or in a professional setting. I think the last one is personal development. Overcoming the fear of public speaking can help build character, right? Helps build resilience, helps you become more adaptable, more self-aware, and overall, contributing to overall personal growth. I think these are a few key points why presentation skills matter. So I'm just your coach for today. I'm just going to walk you through some aspects of presentation skills. But whether I qualify or not, I think I leave it up to you to decide. And I've been around for about 25 years. I spent a lot of my time in healthcare, really. In healthcare for I think about maybe 20 years in healthcare, from pharmaceuticals to medical devices, to building health food supplements, right? I've been managing across countries, building sales teams across countries. The largest business I manage is about, I think, $500 million. So that's the amount of revenue that I was managing at the time. What really I used to do was more about business transformation in any type of business. And then currently, in terms of what I do, I help scale Cable together with its founder, Camilla. And also, we market and manufacture apple cider vinegar under the brand name Surya. So you find it all over Watsons. We're number one apple cider vinegar in all of Watsons in Malaysia. So we're very proud of that one. Okay, so that's my credentials. So let's go in deeper into the types of presentation that you might have already experienced or not yet experienced or going to experience. Okay, so I think presentations come in various formats, and each serving different purposes and audience. So if you understand the type of presentation, this is key to becoming an effective communicator. So today we'll try to explore 4 main types of presentation: the informative one, the persuasive one, decision-making, and demonstrative. The informative presentations focuses on educating audiences in delivering facts, data, and information clearly. Examples you're very familiar include academic lectures, training sessions, or educational briefings. We move on to persuasive presentations. Basically, the aim is to convince the audience to adopt a particular viewpoint or take action. Right? The use of this technique is, you have to have compelling arguments. For example, in a sales pitch, in fundraising, in policy advocacy. Okay, so these are some of the examples. In decision-making presentations, facilitating group decisions by presenting options, analyzing alternatives, and recommending solutions. Examples of this, I use this a lot, especially in board meetings, in project proposals, and in strategic planning sessions. Then we go to the last one, demonstrative presentations. Show how to perform specific skills or tasks or processes, often using visual aids, step-by-step instructions. Example, doing product demo, software tutorials, or even practical workshops like this one. Okay. So I think the first step to, assuming you know what type of presentation you want to do, I think the first step before you decide how to prepare your presentation is really to understand your audience. And this is critical for effective public speaking. So start by analyzing, their demographics, such as age or the gender, education, where they work. If you know some of the values and interests, that will be helpful. Then you need to try to identify their needs, their expectations, their concerns, the motivations to tailor your messaging. So this ensures that your presentation addresses their preference and keeps them really engaged. So if you can customize your content, you can capture their attention and leave them satisfied with the presentation. I think you'll be better if you prepare effectively. And I think this does not necessarily mean that you have to write out your speech, and you have to speak it word for word, or they call it verbatim. And then you rehearse it by heart until you know it, everything, right? Although some people can do this very well, but I definitely cannot do this. I cannot remember all my speeches word for word, so it's almost impossible. Maybe some of you got photographic memory, so that might be helpful. It does, however, mean that you have to be confident that you are saying the right thing in the right way to the right people. I think this is crucial, right? And you need to be clear about your audience and your message. So every presentation will be better if you have clearly considered the message that you want to need to convey and how best to convey it to your audience. These two pieces of information drive, your style, structure, your content, and the use of visual aids. Okay. I'm not sure how much time Samuel has given me today, but it's very important that you do not overrun your allocated time. In other words, don't overstay your welcome. So if Samuel today gave me 1 hour, then I should finish by 50 minutes and maybe leave 10 minutes for question and answers. Okay, almost every speech or presentation is better if it's shorter, right? Nobody minds going for coffee. So if you want to take a break from here, you can go for coffee. It's expected, right? So everybody minds being held up. So the longer I keep you here, the longer you feel irritated, the longer you don't want to be here, and then the presentations become ineffective. Okay, so generally speaking, always use your audience to start how you're going to structure your presentation. As a rule, your audience is there. So you guys are here. So you're voluntarily here. We didn't pay you to come here unless Samuel did. So you're here on your own accord. So basically, I have you as a captured audience. So you're choosing to listen to me or to the presenter. And my job is to make sure you enjoy this presentation, right? And can capture all the messaging that and all the learnings from it. Okay. So actually, if you're the presenter, the occasion is for you to lose. Okay, this one is relatively important. Everybody, including myself, has the fear of public speaking. This one, I don't know how to cure it. I've been doing it for 25 years. I've done it in stadium. I've done it in a very small group. Every time I do it, even today, I think I'm quite nervous. So this is real. And if possible, if you ever go to a presentation out of your university, you should always visit the place first. Okay, you visit the room, you ensure all the equipment is working. This is more to help you cope, your nervousness, and to make sure that you are able to control some sort of environment. So just like me, just like you, we feel very nervous during the presentation, whether it's online or offline. It's very nervous, and I think this is entirely quite normal, right? You can even be helpful if you can channel it right away. There are some tried and tested strategies I think that I use to manage these nerves, so that you can concentrate on delivering effective and engaging presentations. Very few people can give presentations without notes. Okay, I think a lot of it, you need to learn, you need to know your own abilities and decide how to best make the presentation, right? You might manage your talk by using full text, sometimes old-fashioned cue cards, keywords on cue cards or mind maps. So it really depends on your own personality, what you are like, and how you like to deliver the speech. Now, most of the time, for myself, in preparing for the presentation, I always think about the audience I try to prepare with. Nowadays, we have ChatGPT, so ChatGPT can really come up with a nice presentation. The only problem is, if you let ChatGPT do the work, you might not be able to remember what ChatGPT wrote, right? And then you might not be able to deliver the key messages in your own style, right? So this becomes a real issue if you use too much GPT, I would think. I use GPT a lot, but I always tell GPT what I want. It's slide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? It doesn't matter how many slides, but I will always tell GPT this is how I want it done. And then you use things like Gamma, Canva, whatever to project your presentation. Before you present, you should always remember what you're going to present. I think that's crucial. Okay, so this is real. All right, so now we go into how to craft the presentation. Okay, so the most important part is choosing the topic. So today, Samuel said, hey, TK, can you help with presentation skills and networking skills? I said, fine, fantastic. So I know the topic. I know the goals because you guys are students. You may not have done a lot of presentations in your lifetime. So you might need some tips and tricks to help you get better. Okay, so I've already defined what the framework is. Usually, if you keep to simple, smart framework, you should be able to, define your goals, right? Establishing key ideas is important. You must always try to use the, what and why in your presentation so that you can answer some of the audience's question, right? Structuring the outline, how you prepare for the outline, very simple. It should have an introduction, right? So start with a hook, introduce the topic, review the key points, and establish a credibility. So I think I did that in the beginning. I showed you some, Shaolin monk doing push-ups, right? So hopefully that captures your attention. Then I told you what I want to do with this session, basically is presentation, networking skills. And then I sort of introduced myself, why I should be the one coaching you on this topic. So hopefully that will give you some more confidence that you're not wasting your time over here, right? And then you try to design the body, which I'm doing right now, trying to deliver to you the body of the presentation, basically using a few points that we've already talked about. Basically, engagement, right? So right now, it's very hard because I cannot see your faces. So very hard for me to engage with you. But if I do live, I think Samuel has seen me do live. So he understands, or he knows what live engagement means. If I have data, then I can support it with data. Conclusion, the end of the topic, you must always try to remind the audience what the topic was about, summarize the key points, make sure enough time for questions. I know if you can, maybe provide some call to action. Okay, so choosing your topic or goals, what do you hope to accomplish by the end of the presentation? So for me, is I hope you get some benefit out of this presentation and apply some of it, right? I know for sure that you guys are university students, and I might understand some of the problems that you're going through in terms of preparing your presentation. The last time I was a student, it was 30 years ago, right? So I can't remember, but I always had the fear those days in terms of presentation. Now you guys are lucky, right? Because those days we didn't have any AI to help us. All I had was PowerPoint, and that was like, you're gonna do everything by PowerPoint, and it's very difficult. Now you guys have so many applications to help you. So the only thing you need to focus on is how to deliver your key messages, assuming that the presentation is done by with help with AI. Okay, so let's move on. So assuming you got your presentation done, now this is delivery techniques. Okay, it's something that maybe you're taught, maybe you're being coached, but when you do your presentation, right, you try to memorize concepts, right? Don't try to memorize word for word what the presentation is about, right? If you try to memorize word for word, you definitely cannot deliver. So if you know concepts for each slide, you might be able to deliver it a bit better. Now, once you got your presentation, you must try and rehearse multiple times, right? Practice as much as possible and dedicate time to refine your delivery. Not everybody can do this. If you are not a natural presenter, you might have to practice multiple times. Now, it's very strange. How I used to do it is used to record myself, listen to myself talk, figure out like, oh my God, I don't sound very nice. talking on the video, and then you always like, oh my god, is that what you sound like? And so you get a bit worked up, and then you try to adjust from your own video, to deliver a little bit better. So critically looking at your own videos and criticize yourself is a way to help you get better during the presentation. I think the other way to practice is, if you live with your course, if you live in campus, ask your friends to come and listen to you lah. Better yet, you see your parents at home, you ask them to sit down while dinner, and then you present to them lah. If you dare lah. Okay, your parents are your biggest critic, so they may criticize you lah, but never mind lah. This is part of learning. Better they criticize you than you delivering a lousy presentation in front of 100 people. I think that's the fear of for me lah, at least. I always ask for feedback, like after a presentation. I always ask for feedback from the crowd. Whether I was engaging enough, whether I was clear, was the message clear, was the tone okay, and was the visuals sufficient or good enough? And sometimes because we're doing the slides, the presentation, sometimes we cannot see what we're doing proper. You need the external audience to tell you whether it's good or not. Okay. A lot of times you have to prepare for questions, right? If you go to a board meeting, a business meeting, you almost guarantee there'll be questions. So in your head, you got to try to imagine what those questions are, and you have to practice how to respond to it, right? If some of your audiences may not be so nice, they always ask you, hey, why like this? Why is it like that? Interrupt your presentation, and so you got to try to figure a way to answer those questions calmly, so that you can continue your presentation. Okay, so I think these are some step-by-step guides you see on the slides that might be helpful in terms of how you refine your delivery, how you build confidence, and ensure like your presentation is polished. What I didn't say here is, body language is quite important. Online, not so much, right? But when you're on stage, your body language will enhance your engagement with the audience, and it conveys confidence. So some of the key tips include, if you're face-to-face or live, includes maintaining eye contact, looking at the individual in the audience, looking at the camera lens, depending, if there's cameras there, and try to build a connection with your audience. Your posture, I think, is very important. You got to make sure that you don't always look down. You got to look up. Projecting your chin upwards, projects confidence, and avoid, appearing fatigued, right? I think Samuel's seen me been on stage, presenting throughout the day, and you got to try to keep the energy up. I think it's extremely difficult to keep the energy up. So you got to make sure you have enough sugar. Make sure you have some candies or 100 plus to drink along the way. You got to keep your energy up, got to keep the engagement going. Hand gesture is important. For example, I think you read this before. If you open your palm, it conveys trust and emphasizes on the points. Now, some of you forget when you're presenting, you're so nervous, you forget to smile. Okay, so sometimes a smile will help yourself, help calm the audience, because the audience can see you damn nervous, right? And sometimes your voice also shaking, right? Because you know the topic, your head is crammed with the agenda and the text, but you cannot come out, right? Because you're so nervous. So basically, having a smile, maintaining your tone, I think is quite important to convey confidence. Now, if you're presenting on stage or online, I think the other thing people never tell you is breathe. You got to breathe in a certain way so that you don't run out of breath, right? During the presentation. So you have to breathe to stay calm and to reduce anxiety. Okay, so these are some of the techniques I think that you can read, and hopefully you manage to pick up some of the points there. If you need to review this presentation again, I think there's a recording that you can go through. All right, so this one is the power of practice. Okay, I think we mentioned this just now. Some of the key points in terms of practicing. Record yourself. Review your own video if you can. Right? Keep rehearsing before the presentation. Okay. As you go through the video, as you review yourself, you can pick up points already. You can strengthen some of the sections that are weak. You can make it stronger. You can change your presentation a little bit to depending on what you see, what you don't like. If you're presenting to a crowd, make sure that you get some feedback from the crowd. Okay. Okay, engaging your audience. This is very difficult, right? How do you keep your audience engaged? And this is, I think, adaptability is key, right? Depending on how the audiences respond, you need to be able to adapt to the audience. So be ready to pivot your delivery based on audience's reaction or energy levels, right? You might be going through the presentation, but your audience is feeling sleepy. Okay, and some audience even better, just look at the phone, not listening to you. So what are you going to do? I'm sure some of you have seen that before, right? It's very annoying if you're on stage. That means they're not respecting you on stage. Also means that you're not engaging enough, right? So you gotta be ready to do something different so that they drop their phones, stop messaging somebody, and start listening to you. I think this is a very important piece. If you can in your presentation, include elements like polling. You can do polls. You can ask thought-provoking questions. You can do collaborative activities to create meaningful two-way dialogue. Okay. You have to, if you're in front of an audience, closely monitor non-verbal cues from the audience, right? So recognize some signals if they're yawning away. If you see some of the crowd sleeping, if you see crowd that is on their mobile phones, or so all these cues you need to pick up, and you need to be able to adapt to the presentation very, very quickly. All right. So that's about presentation per se, right? We can open up for Q&A shortly, but I will continue in terms of from presentation to networking. So assuming you already presented, okay? Let's say you are looking for some money to help build your app. Okay, so you need to present to some of your friends or your family friends and get some funding. So you're asking maybe for 10,000 ringgit to start your own company and build your app. So after you present, you have to go network. Okay, presentation alone is not enough. You have to go network. Networking is very simply about building mutual connections through authentic interactions. And usually this is about it's long term. So formal networking opportunities include industrial conferences, association meetings like this one, perhaps structured events that we've run with Kabel. Informal networking is usually in social gatherings, online communities or everyday interactions between you, your colleagues, your lecturers, industry people. But guys, there's only one thing that can build network, in my opinion. There's nothing better than face-to-face networking. Okay, there's nothing better and faster or deeper than in-person, face-to-face communication. I know these days, we have Google Meets, Zoom, or whatever you call it. These things are nice to disseminate information, but I can never build a relationship with you. The only reason why I can build a relationship with Samuel is because I saw him many times, face to face. We interacted online many times. I've seen him a couple of times during the 2 days. We interacted a bit, So now for me and him, it's like if he needs my help, he just call me, no problem. Like this presentation. If Samuel called me, if I didn't know him, I haven't met him face to face, I probably wouldn't entertain him too much. So good for you, Samuel. Continue that. Please, tell your colleagues that, hey, don't stay at home at the computer. Go out there, socialize, mingle, talk to somebody face to face. Then you become a better and more confident person now. I think for you to get a mentor or a coach, I think it's very important that you go out there and find one, right? In-person meetings usually provides opportunities for mentorship and professional development. Very hard for us to do it online, right? I've tried online, but I think it's so difficult, and it's very boring online, right? I rather sit with Samuel face to face in Zeus Coffee, talk about what his issues are, help him build his I don't know, his app, help you build his community. I think face to face definitely can get more done in a shorter time. Okay. This one, I think it took me a long time to do in terms of personal branding. This is important for you guys. You guys are, I think, maybe graduate in 1 year, 2 years, whatever it is. Once you graduate, nobody's going to help you anymore, right? You have to find your own job. Samuel will say, "Hey, TK, maybe Yusra will be coming to see you. Wants to pitch for a job." I said, "Sure. I give you 30 seconds pitch. You can convince me in 30 seconds, maybe I'll consider giving you the job." Right? So, I think building a personal brand is important. It helps you build. You already have you have to do two things. You have to build your online presence, which I think you guys are very good at, and then you have to build your offline presence. The offline presence is the networking part. And if you're already graduated, or if going for a business pitch, you need to know how to pitch in 30 seconds. Very important. The 30 seconds, because the brain cannot register more than 1 minute. Right? The first 3 seconds, you all know TikTok. If it's less than 3 seconds, TikTok gone. You already swipe to the next page. So if I'm face to face with you, I think 30 seconds is like the 3 seconds on TikTok. Okay, so I think that's the similarities. You have to be professional, especially when you go out there. Okay, so this is what I used to encounter, especially for tech guys. A lot of you guys here are tech people, right? I think tech guys, when they go for meetings, they wear shorts and t-shirt and slippers. How is that your personal brand? I know you don't care about dressing up but for me, if I'm the employer and I see somebody a coder come in shorts and slippers and t-shirt, I think it's very hard for me to offer them a job, right? That's just me I'm assuming majority of the big bosses out there are probably my age, right? Very few, maybe tech companies are less than 30 years old. So I think personal branding, when you get out there, is extremely important. So I will say this maybe once, but if you're going to go out of your house and go for an interview or meet a business person, I think the least you can do is just dress up a bit, wear some collared t-shirt, shoes, and pants. Very simple, but I think these days very hard to do. My own kids also don't dress up, so I always tell them, hey, dress up. Where you put on your pants, put on your shoes, and put on a collared t-shirt and go out there. Okay, very basic, but not everybody believes in dressing up too much. So I think effective networking basically is all about communication, right? There's nothing more than communication. The hard part about this is how to listen actively. Especially when you're trying to pitch for something, most of us likes to talk. We just talk, 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 talk. You may not be listening to the response from the person, your audience, and I think this is also one key point. You should really try and listen to what the feedback is, so that you can follow up with the next question. A lot of us have a lot of ideas in our head, so we just want to convey the ideas, but I think it's very hard to do the networking if you're not listening to the response and answering the questions accordingly. Okay, so in networking, I think I managed to speak to Samuel a little bit during our time together. I was asking, hey, what do you like to do? What's your interest? Where you from? How's it different? Where you come from to Malaysia? So, I try to learn something about him, and he's asked me 100 questions. And also he asked our team 100 questions. So we kind of build a relationship there. And it's important because besides business, what else is there? This is me getting to know you. So if you take interest in getting to know the person, I think you can build longer lasting relationships. All right, mastering online marketing, networking. I think this one, you guys are pro. I'm thinking you are way better than me online. I can never do this because of my generation, but since I started working on cable, I can do this a bit better than usual. So I'm still learning at this. I'm Gen X, by the way, so I'm still learning as a Gen X, in terms of how to do online networking. So thank you, Samuel, for inviting me. At least I get to connect with 135 people here. So that's very nice. But I'll leave this part to you because I think you're better than I am. Okay, so this is my last slide before I take any questions. If you can remember one thing from today, it's not about being the loudest in the room. It's about being the one person that the people want to talk to. Okay, after the presentation is done, whether you're pitching, presenting, or just trying to survive awkward networking events, be clear, be curious, and be real. I said be authentic. If everything fails, smile, okay? Make eye contact. Don't talk about the weather. Okay, there's no point. So these are some of the key messages that I wanted to convey to you. Practice daily if you can. Get feedback as much as possible, right? So that you can assess your own presentations. Network growth is important. You go out there and you start networking with people. I think that's very important. And also, where you get your materials from, besides online, there are other ways to get your material from podcasts, for other Google, YouTube videos. But make sure all these sources are authentic, right? A lot of fake ones out there. So I think, in a nutshell, I think be very clear what you want to deliver in terms of message in your presentation. Get out there and start networking with all sorts of people. Don't be shy. I know a lot of the digital guys are very shy. They rather sit behind the computer. But if you are the one that gets out there and starts communicating, I think you can differentiate yourself very early on. So thank you very much for today, for listening to me. I hope it's helpful. I'm happy to take any questions that you have.
Thank you so much, TK, for the amazing presentation and everything. So, we can take some time for the audience to drop some question. Feel free to take your time and drop some question, guys, because personally, I think, he's a really amazing person and he know a lot of things. And I did meet with him physically, but maybe today here we are joining online. But feel free to ask your question because I know that most of the tech people are quite introvert and it's quite hard for us to get networking, like like get out of the bubble and try to step forward, take the first step, and like start networking or do the presentation we want. Most of the time, like tech people are like introvert and they just want to pass to someone else who can talk and don't want
Yeah,
to do the presentation.
I know it's very scary, very daunting, to get out there, get out of your comfort zone. But let's remember, Samuel, you're right. The only way to grow is to get out of your comfort zone, right? You got to go out there and sweat a little bit. Then you know that you're stressed out. If you're stressed, then that means something's happening. So you're going to be growing, right? So I've got a question here. Um, you know, what would you recommend we have in our elevator pitch other than basic introduction? All right. So I think if let's say like you're looking for a new job, I would say you have to have a few points, right? One is who you are, what you're good at, and why the person should take me as a employee. So I would say very simply, like if you cannot remember this, tell the person what your superpower is. That's it. Tell them your name, tell them your superpower, and that's it. And this is why I should join your company. Yeah, I hope that helps. The other question I think is, do you have any advice on working on active listening? Okay, active listening. Okay, you guys all have parents, right? You know your dad, your mom gonna talk to you, right? Most of the time you shut off, right? So if you can, you listen to them, lah, and then you respond to either their nagging, their advice. You respond appropriately. You don't have to be rude and cutting, but I think you need to respond appropriately. If they say, hey, Samuel, why you don't clean your room every day? Your answer is probably, no, please lah, don't disturb me lah. I'm already so old, Always like this lah. So what if Samuel said, hey mom, I'll clean it right after breakfast. Kind of busy, but I think a clean room is a great idea. What's your mother going to say? Your mother think you're going to be a different person, right? So again, your lecturer will try to advise you, whatever, right? Sometimes you listen, sometimes you don't, right? So I think how to practice is you find the most annoying person, you listen, and you give a nice response. I think that will help. Okay, let's see what other questions I have. Let's see. Can you elaborate more on how to make a strong personal brand? I think personal branding is your legacy, lah. I mean, for me, I think my personal brand is people know me in the industry as somebody who can scale businesses, especially in healthcare. When I meet them, I'm very authentic. I try to listen to them. I try to understand what they're doing, and if they want, I will offer some solutions. So I think it's not about character, how you are, and how you convey yourself to them. So it's a lot about perception out there. You want the person to think you are like this person, right? But the only way they can think you're this person is you have to act and do the things that you say you do. Okay, so example I give you. You might have, I have a boss, right? My presentation to the boss is, so I will grow my products by 20% this year. I will get 5 new clients, giving me additional business. And then he will say, oh, you sure you can do this? I said, yes, I can do this. And then he says, I give you 1 year to this project to get your numbers up and get your KPIs. The important point is, every month I have to go tell my boss, hey boss, I'm at this stage. I'm not reaching the numbers yet, but I can, you know, I need more time. This is what I'm doing to get the numbers. This is what I'm doing to get the sales. You know, and every month I will update lah. Now, the result is I hope I can hit the numbers. But what if I can't? When you can't, the delivery of the bad news is equally important. Okay, so a lot of people are like, oh shit, I'm gonna miss my numbers this year. I'm gonna miss my, you know, 4.0 GPA. My parents are gonna call me because I told them I'm gonna get 4.0 GPA. You're gonna get 3.5 GPA. So you gotta tell your parents, hey, mom and dad, you know, I think I'm suffering this year because of this, but I'm doing something to address it. Now my GPA is 3.5. Maybe I can do 3.8. So you tell them upfront, that means you're building credibility, right? And the credibility is your personal branding, I believe, right? So if you can build credibility over time, credibility is more about trust, building trust, right? If somebody trusts you, then your personal branding goes up. It doesn't matter what field you're in, what specialty you're in. Building trust and credibility is, I think, very important in this case. Okay, what other questions you have? Let's see. What we need to do if we present too fast. This one. Just remember to breathe. If you talk too fast, you'll be out of breath. So just breathe. The stage is already yours. Why you need to rush? No reason for rushing. I know all the information needs to come out before you forget. But that's not the point. The point is, take your time. Tell your story. Right? And remember to breathe. And if you're talking too fast, remember to smile. When you smile, then maybe you slow yourself down. Okay, so that's what I generally do to myself. I get on stage, and Samuel has seen me. If I get on stage, I'm either talking too fast, I will try to slow it down. Right? As slow as possible, but not so slow until they fall asleep. So you got to find the right pace to deliver your messages. Okay? What's the next question? I hope I answered that question. The other question is how I can be more interesting to people. Oh, this one. How do I be more interesting to people? I think step number one is to get yourself out there and not stay in your room. Right? Because if you interact more, you will have more things to say. Right? You have to join activities. Whether it's in university, external activity, go play pickleball or something, you know, pick up a sport. Because I think life is not just about studies or work. Life is about building other skills, building social skills, building interest, right? If you have an interest in something, I'm sure you can talk about it, and I'm sure somebody will want to listen to you. Yeah. Okay, next one. From Clarice, would you say 3 to 4 sentences be the max for the pitch? I think, you know, if you can tell somebody your superpower within 3 to 4 sentences, I think it's pretty damn good. Okay, so yeah, I won't keep it to 3 or 4, but in your head and practice. If you ever saw me, let's say, if you ever saw me and you wanted to work for cable or natural options, what would you say to me? I think just practice that. Okay, the next one from Kayla about personal branding, like in LinkedIn, should we show all what we did in the past or just show essential ones? Which one more professional? Oh, this one. Okay, first of all, Kayla, I'm not sure which year you are, but first things first, sign up on Kabel, open an account on Kabel. That goes for all of you. Kabel will guide you through how to fill up your staff stories, right? Staff stories about situation, action, and results. You know, so that will help frame your mind in terms of how to build your resume. Right? You take that whatever comes out in cable, in terms of your profile, you take that, and then you decide with ChatGPT's help how to put it into LinkedIn. Okay, I think that is probably a good way to build up your LinkedIn profile. Now, LinkedIn profile is interesting one, because if you don't have enough experience, it's very hard to put anything up, right? So if you have work experience, internship experience, then it's very useful to build your LinkedIn profile. But to do that, you have to get out there and interact with people and do internships and do part-time jobs and do whatever's interesting. Then you can build your profile, right? If you don't have any of those, I think it's very difficult to put anything up in LinkedIn if you just came out from university. If you just came out from university, you should at least have a lot of projects that you have done, and you can convert it into something a little bit better in LinkedIn. I hope that helps. I'm not sure if it answers your question. There's one from Ned Hassan. Do you have any advice on person who is shy with people? All right, so I know Samuel said everybody here is an introvert. Whether you believe it or not, so am I. Okay? So am I. So how to become a different personality? I think it's just by pure getting out there, talking to as many people as you can, find out what's interesting about them, sharing your own stories with them, because you need to build confidence, right? So if somebody asks you, hey, let's go social event, Samuel's organizing a social event face to face, I think you should just come out from your room and go lah and interact, right? You might feel very uncomfortable. You may feel, oh my God, I don't want to be here. But that's exactly how you should feel. And that's the feeling you should overcome. Right? Because there's always some story that you can share with somebody. And somebody will always want to listen to something. So your job is to go out there and find a person who you can share something with. I think that might make you less shy in a structured, slower manner, right? If I throw you into a big, deep ocean with 1,000 people, I don't think anybody wants to be there, even myself. So, if you're shy, best thing you can do is organize your own party and invite people to come. I think that's probably easier. At least it's in your own place. You can control some of the environment because you organized it, and you help somebody build confidence. So if you help somebody build confidence, I think your confidence will go up yourself. Right. So there's no easy way, I would say. Okay. From Jun Pham. A senior offered to mentor me. How do I maintain a good relationship and keep the connection strong? All right. Okay, so if you know mentor and mentee, this is a very special relationship. If you say yes to the mentor, your job is to communicate with the mentor, and not the mentor call you and make an appointment with you. So it should be the other way. So the more you connect with your mentor on a regular basis, every time you connect with the person, I think you are building relationship. But you have to be very specific for a mentor-mentee on the topics you want to discuss. Right? And that's how the mentor-mentee relationship works. Right? To get the best outcome is you have to go in prepared as a mentee to talk to your mentor. Okay, I think this is how you can build relationship with your mentor. Now, the mentor-mentee relationship is time-bound. That means it cannot be forever. There's no point, right? It has to be very specific. Hey, I need your help for 3 months to help me through a certain project, and that's it, right? And maybe you don't see each other for 3-4 years. Maybe another day comes and say, hey, my mentor maybe can help me with another project. So mentor-mentee relationships are usually short time bound, right? There are other ones that are usually long, more than a few years. But how do you maintain a strong relationship? Is you have to, I think, consciously meet up face to face at least once a month, or once in 2 months, or once a quarter. So it's up to the mentee to make the connection in most cases. Okay. I think there's one from Joyce Puyang. I'm curious, how long does it take to prepare a presentation like this? So the presentation was, I don't know, how long was it? 30 minutes? Around 30 minutes. I might have spent 3-4 hours to prepare for it. So that's how long it takes. Because sometimes you have the story, you need to craft it, you need to figure out what the audience is going to receive. I have to test it 2 rounds, see whether it works, adjust it again. Those days, if I need to prepare a 1-hour presentation, before all this AI came out, it used to take me 2 months. Okay. Yeah. How many days? Oh, this presentation, I think total, if I didn't sleep, 4 hours, because I had AI to help me, and I had Canvas. If I didn't have AI or Canvas or Gamma to help me, it would take me 2 months to prepare for this presentation. I hope that helps. Okay, that's all the questions I have. Anybody want to ask any further questions? Still have some time.
Yeah, feel free to drop any kind of question. I mean, not any kind of question. I mean, related to our topic, but yeah. But
Yeah. If you can, guys, if you can, part of networking and building relationship is turn on your camera, ask me a question.
Yeah, that's the most effective way for today's
Don't
topic.
worry. Anybody want to turn on camera and share yourself and ask a question? I not you lah. Turn off. Student below the age of 30. You're below 30. Okay. All right. So the LinkedIn profile is there. You can have a look. If you need any help, you need some questions, hit me up, send me a message, or you can ask Samuel to send it to me, whichever is you feel better.
Okay, maybe we can wait for another few minutes for some people to ask any question. Feel free to ask, guys. Feel free to ask. And we always hope to see you physically, maybe in UTM one day.
Sam, if you send an invite, I'll come. I'll bring the gang and come and see you.
Thank you so much.
If you'd like me to come to your campus and give a talk or with the team, whatever topic you like, just let us know. I mean, we're happy to help contribute to your well-being.
I'm actually going to KL next week, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let us know if you want to meet up for the tare or nasi lemak. Also can.
I think I will drop by maybe.
Guys, you see, I just met Samuel like once or twice, and we're able to have this conversation. So I think that's very helpful for all of you.
Okay, so nobody have any question?
All right, all right. Thank you for today. Thanks for the invite, Samuel.
Thank you so much for TK for joining us. And also, I mean, we are really glad that we also have the CEO of Kabel here, Ms. Camila. Thank you so much for joining also to our session. So thank you so much
Thank you.
also for TK for joining, making your time, like joining us and giving a valuable session for everyone. And I hope that everybody can learn and also like implement those skills even in daily life. And even let's say you're one going for a hackathon winning or anything like that. Everything, always like all the topic, like all the points, mostly TK mentioned. Actually, you can implement those on your presentation as well, like hackathon presentation. And yeah,
Okay, thank you very much.
thank you so much. Okay, before we go, maybe we take a
Okay,
picture.
sure.
So I would ask everyone to open your camera and don't forget to tag us on LinkedIn if you're posting about the experience of today. And we encourage you to post about today's experience so everybody can also know and learn. Yeah, try to put a key point what you learned today and make a small post on LinkedIn and feel free to tag us, GDGoC, UTM, TK, and Kabel maybe. Yeah, definitely. Okay, we give you a few minutes to open your camera, so please open your camera, guys, and yeah. Hello, so many faces. Where's everyone?
Don't be
Guys,
shy.
yeah, open your camera. Don't be shy. This is the I mean this will be your first step breaking your comfort zone and opening your camera. Okay. Okay, let's take a photography. So we do a GDG sign. So this is our GDG sign. Break it. Okay, so Clarice can maybe help us taking a picture. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay, give me a minute. Okay. Done, Clarice? Okay, another one. Make a freestyle. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay, before we go, we also have some announcement for our upcoming events and also we have attendance. So don't, I mean, yeah, hold on a few more minutes with us. Okay, where's the slides? Oh, can you see my screen? Uh, oh, okay, nice. So upcoming, we have our deep learning bootcamp going on 14 and 21 December. So we will inform you guys in the group when whether we are doing it physical or online. So we are still discussing about the venue. So give us some time. And there will be also we are having DevFest. So if you wanna go for DevFest in KL or Georgetown, feel free to purchase your ticket. So it will be one of the biggest developer fest conference in Malaysia, uh, in KL and also Georgetown. So the KL one is 6th and 7th December, and the Georgetown one is on 13th December. So yeah, feel free to check out. Just type in Google and you're gonna get the link. Or follow our social media. We will also share the information there. And then these are our social media account. So please follow us if you want to get informed about any hackathon or any other partnership programs we are having from our partners. We will drop it in our Telegram and also we will reshare them on our Instagram. So feel free and follow our Telegram and Instagram. So I will keep some time in the meantime. And also don't forget to connect with TK on LinkedIn. Yeah. And then, oh, photography already done. So this is our attendance for today. So please be reminded that we will be closed the Google form on 10:20. Okay, so please fill in the attendance form and please give your feedback so we know what you want, and also give feedback on our session, how you felt, so we can also convey the message to our speaker as well. So if you have any appreciation, you can just write it down, we can also pass it to our speaker. So yeah, so I hope that everybody got to learn a lot of things today and we can implement it in our daily life in future. And yeah, thank you so much, TK, for joining us. And we're really happy to have you among us. And we wish to see you again, maybe in future physically. So yeah, thank you so much. Okay. And also, thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. Because of you, today we were able to do our session today, and we have more than 134 participants today. So, thank you so much for your participation and being engaged throughout the whole session. And have a good day. Best of luck and good night. So, I'll be here until 10:20. So, if you have any question, you can drop. If you have any question you want me to pass it to TK, I can also pass. So you can find my number in admin, in one of the admin in the WhatsApp group. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you so much, TK. Thank you, Emilia, also. Okay, let me turn off the recording for now.